When we think about ways to counteract making ourselves small, feeling powerless, settling, we usually tend to think in terms of shifting our beliefs. And I'm going to suggest that we can actually start giving ourselves quite a boost in feeling more expansive, feeling more confident by actually using our muscles, and in particular our TVA muscle. Last week I shared that I noticed that over the years I've been developing an embodiment that makes me be smaller physically, contract, feeling smaller, and that translates into thinking in ways that make me settle in different areas of my life and that make me feel powerless. Everything comes together. And I share the way that I was handling it at the time. So noticing the embodiment cues and undoing those from the inside out. So what I noticed as well was that making myself smaller embodiment was showing up not only in reaction to the cues from my environment, but also when I was sitting down having a meal, I would feel that sort of hunched over posture. Reading, same, I would feel that sort of hunched over posture. Writing down as well. And this is a posture that I have pretty good posture. I see most people actually do that sort of hunch over posture. And this physiologically is signaling powerlessness. So we're making ourselves small. We're trying to protect. This is a protective position. And therefore we signal to our minds all the time, we're not safe, we don't have the power, let's stay small, which translates to different areas of our lives. So when I noticed that, something interesting came to my mind, something seemingly unrelated, a fitness video that I watched on YouTube probably last year called Don't Be a Domer. And that video is about how we use our core muscles, which is why I'm standing for this video. So in that video, what's explained is that for the most part, when we're doing abdominal or core exercises, most people push from the six-pack, so from the rectus abdominal muscles here in the front. And that's why sometimes you can see when you're pushing something, you see sort of a bulge. And what was explained was that when this happens, we're not activating the deeper core muscles, which actually come from the back all the way, the transverse abdominal muscle, and wrap around the front. So this was actually what came to my mind when I was sitting down and noticed, oh, crappy posture. I'm already in that disempowered mode. Instead of going through the let's undo the cues, I just tested this. Okay, let me then activate this transverse abdominal muscle and let's see how I feel. And it was like that, immediate. My posture relaxed, my core felt strong, my shoulders relaxed, and I went back to a more open, more centered, more in my power posture. And I want you to experiment with this, to feel these muscles. The suggestion in that video that I'm going to link as well for you, if you want to see the entirety of it, is to make a sound, a sound, think snake or cat hissing, however you prefer. And when you do it, notice what happens in your transversal muscles or in your entire core. I'm going to suggest closing your eyes to actually do this. Just take seconds and you'll know where the muscles are. Closing your eyes and putting your attention on your midsection and just doing this. Breathe in, and in your out breath, all the way until you don't have any breath left. Notice which muscles tense up. It's from the back in this band, so it's almost like there's a hugging muscle, which actually it does hug the entire core, and there's a sense of, okay, I'm strong, I'm secure in my core. Now that you noticed the muscles, your eyes closed, relax your belly, breathe normally, and notice if you can actually activate them with your eyes open, just with intention. And if you can't, just do it again. And feel the entirety of your wrapping muscle, contracting and strengthening your core. So when you have this awareness of where this muscle is, I'm going to suggest that you keep it strong, relaxed, but strong. It's possible, so it doesn't have to be tense as in full out breath, but you can be aware of the muscle and keep it engaged. It gives you a very lovely, lengthy, strong posture. And when you are in that posture already, allow yourself to marinate there for about a minute. Then start bringing to your mind situations where you know that you kind of do this disempowered, that you feel disempowered. So you might not even notice that you have the rounding of the shoulders, perhaps the front tilt of the head, neck tensing up. But bring something to your mind where you feel that sense of, I don't feel in my power there. And notice if something in this area wants to kind of go wonky or go weak. If it does, you have the perfect antidote, workaround for it. Strengthen those muscles again, maintain them strong, and bring that thing to mind again. So stay strong in them for a few more seconds, and then bring that thing to mind again. This is a reconditioning, because what we created in those scenarios or those areas or those interactions where we feel powerless is that we have associated that type of leaking of energy, that type of dropping of energy, that kind of making our physiology weak. We have associated with that. So it's a habit. If it's not something new, it's a habit. If it's new, it will be changed much faster. And we want to recondition a different habit for that and for our lives pretty much. But when you feel your muscles, feel them strong, and you carry yourself like this in more times, you'll notice that it will start to pervade the way that you feel and the way that you think in those areas as well. I'll tell you what I actually did to experiment with this. I went to a shopping center, lots of people there. Usually my energy starts to come closer to me because a lot of different influences, and I decided I'll just have lunch here. So I'll test the entire thing fully. So had my lunch in front of me, plenty of people around, and I was noticing their posture as well, actually. So a lot of people very relaxed, a lot of others doing the same thing that I had caught myself doing before, the hunched over type of contracted, trying to not be perceived negatively by the people around them. So having my lunch, I was doing a double whammy of goodness. I was holding my transverse abdominal muscle strong, not tense, but strong. And I was also bringing to my mind that image that I mentioned in the previous video of a just beautiful, majestic lion. And I was noticing that my posture, my environment was starting to radiate. And of course, that type of energy starts to get attention. So people just kind of glance like, something there. I just maintained it perfectly at ease. And that was a really good experience because I was able to maintain this state for a good 40 minutes, probably, as long as I was having lunch. Then I just got distracted doing other things. Another such experience was kind of another test. So I went to a Toastmasters club meeting and was called to do a little bit of an improv speech presentation on stage, and through the entire time that I was in the meeting, I was still holding muscles strong, not holding as intense, but again, just holding with awareness and noticing if at some point my energy would want to collapse somewhere. No, keeping my core engaged, my core strong, and when I was presenting as well, felt very at ease, very relaxed, because the center of my being, belly button, our center of gravity, our center of vitality, our lower Dantien, was strong, was protected, wrapped, and it was just pretty much being the strong foundation for the entire pillar of my body and my core. So I wanted to play with this. Again, when you know where this muscle is and you start playing with it, this strengthens your core. Your lower Dantien is your center for vitality, for confidence, for ease, for your gut intelligence to actually feel safe, for you to move and act and be how you want to be in the world. This is your center for charisma as well. So the more that we have this area strong, poised, centered, grounded, the more we can feel the confidence that we want to feel show up in the world in the way that we know is natural for us. And as we hold this area strong, we will start to feel that confidence, that presence, that groundedness, and that will start to shift the way that we think and the way that we act. So instead of going for different beliefs or trying to change our thinking in order to change this feeling of powerlessness and making ourselves small, start from the bottom up. You can have both approaches, both work beautifully, especially if you use them both at the same time. But the easiest one in the world throughout your day is this. Use the physical, maintain your core strong, and start noticing how that shifts how you feel and how you start to think and how you start to show up in the world. And that's what I wanted to share. So I appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.